Today, I'm going to teach you how to work with a hooded eye with some under eye puffiness. So as you can see with my model Julie, I'm showing her the different areas of the eye and the fact that we see more of the upper part of the eye than we do the bottom lid. So in order to do that, we have to add a lighter color on the bottom part of the lid, almost double the width of the brush. I'm starting with a matte color Biscotti, and I'm really trying to put this all over the entire lid up until it kind of hits the bone, which I'm going to show in a second. And so the biggest thing that we want to accomplish here is bringing more attention to the bottom part of the lid, bringing that part forward so that when we go in to kind of carve out and make a faux crease, that will make that puffy area of the eye for her go backwards or look like it's farther away. So as I'm showing her now, it's really important that we are applying that color and creating that crease right where that bone is. And so I'm going to take a soft dark brown color, and we're going kind of for a bronzy babe look today on Julie. And so as you can see, I'm tapering my brush just a little bit on the outside, but I'm feeling where that bone is so that I can kind of create more of that darker to lighter coloring from the outside in. And so I'm tapping this in place. This is most likely a matte shadow. We're actually using Mahogany today. And I'm showing where the center of the eye is because we don't want to go any farther with that darker color than the center of the eye going up to the middle of the eyebrow. So now I'm just taking a blending brush and I'm softening that up. Obviously it's going to look darker at first, but we're blending from the outside in really softly. And you can see that difference from left to right there, where just a little bit of blending goes a long way. So as we're building that, it's going to go from darkest to lightest into the eye, and this is always going to create that lift up, which is definitely what you want, especially with a hooded eye. I love the versatility of these liquid shadows, and I'm using Light Beam, which seems a little bit odd to use a liquid product on top of a matte shadow, but these eyeshadows are so versatile. You can just tap them on to add a little bit of that shimmer. After we've already gotten the color on, sometimes the darker colors tend to shift a little bit, so we really want to bring attention back to brightening that eye area. Next, I'm adding in some deep brown cream-based eyeliner. And as we're kind of just lightly tapering that in, we're going very lightly from the inside to the outside. Doesn't really matter so much which way, but we're making sure that that is a little bit thicker on the outside of the eye and making its way a little bit thinner as it goes into the eye. So just for fun, I'm adding a little bit of this metallic liquid liner in copper. This is being applied slightly above that deep brown liner that we just applied, just to give her a little bit of a glow. Very light attention to detail when someone's looking close up or when she is blinking. One of my favorite tricks for someone who has light features is to make any eyeshadow into an eyeliner. We're taking a tiny brush, spraying it with finishing spray, and then dipping it into a soft brown shadow. As the skin is aging, we want to avoid making the eye look darker. We're just going to add a little bit of a reinforcer with that dark color to continue to add that lift. It's the same exact color we used earlier, and we're just freshening up again after we get that light color on. So we're just blending that once again. And now we add mascara, which is where the magic happens. So we're going to go from one eye to the next so that it's not clumpy and we make sure we get a really clean application. So we're just going back and forth. I'm removing her hydrogel eye patches, which were a great way to protect and hydrate that under part of the eye. And I'm having her apply a little bit of eye cream about a ½ an inch away from the eye so that has room to migrate without messing up her makeup today. We jump back in to just add just a little bit of touch of that bottom mascara, not too messy. One of my favorite things to teach is brows, and we're starting right here by the side of the nose to figure out where the brow would start with that straight edge. And I'm showing Julie how you would go to the outside of the eye with that same straight edge to figure out where the brow would end. And also in the middle, right directly above the eye, we're seeing where we add that lift and that arch. We're always going to start from that inner part, and we're going to draw the hairs in the direction that they're growing. So if in the start of the brow they go straight up, we're going to draw little tiny hairs from the bottom starting line straight up. And then as the brows start to grow sideways, we're going to continue that same feathering motion, and look at how much lift that it gave her. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to create that starting place, always drawing from the top of the brow to add lift, and not creating a line on the bottom and then realizing that our brow went too low. Once we put in that color, you're going to want to brush that out to really fluff those brows up, and look at how great they look. As we move into face makeup, I'm having Julie apply our foundation primer, which is going to help create a barrier for pores as well as also a magnet to the foundation of choice. Julie likes a lighter coverage, so we're using our new Silky setting powder, and I'm showing her how to apply that very lightly all across the face in a feathering kind of motion, and we're smoothing that on. And because she has great skincare, which is using the Time Wise Repair, we're finding that it's going on so beautifully, and she doesn't really need a lot of coverage. She can do a light build of coverage just by doing this, but this is always a great product that can be added on top of either your CC cream or a matte or luminous foundation. One of the things that you gorgeous women in this age bracket are new to is how to contour, but in a way that really helps add lift to your face and raises your cheekbone. So I'm showing Julie how to apply our Latte contour powder. We're going right in the hollow area of the cheek, almost pushing up into that cheekbone, and I'm bringing it a little bit out into the hairline. This is going to cinch in underneath that cheekbone to create a slimming effect, but it can also be used for the jawline as well. We add in her cheek color, no closer than 2 fingers from the nose, and again, everything is about lift. I'm also going to give Julie a little bit of highlighter just on the top part of the cheekbone, but we're keeping that away from the crow's feet area. Arguably the most important part is mixing an under eye corrector with a concealer that is 1 shade lighter than Julie's skin tone. And so really about this, it's all about creating lift on the outer part of the eye. She has a lot of under eye puffiness, and so we're never going to add product on top of puffy skin. But you can see where there's that little divot there where I've added a little bit of that under eye corrector and concealer. And we're just gonna put that underneath the puffy area as well as underneath directly where her eyeliner would be on the bottom part of the eye. And we've chosen to keep that, like I said, very light in that deep brown, not to draw any extra attention or darkness underneath the eye area where we tend to see that those shadows are fitting because of the shape of her cheekbone. So I'm going to the other side of the eye now, doing the same thing, keeping that lighter color on the inner part of the eyelid close to the nose, as well as directly underneath the puffiness, and a tiny, tiny bit underneath the outer part of the eye where I have that darker shade to draw that angle up. Again, that is the most important thing for this eye shape. But remember, never applying concealer directly on top of puffiness. Using a small brush here works best. Let's add in a lip color. And so I've brought a lip liner into the equation today to show you how important it is to create a stronger lip line, especially if you have smaller lips like Julie's, creating a little bit more of that Cupid's bow up top and a little bit more of a fuller shape. You can gently just take a lip liner a touch below that natural lip line and then fill in the lip entirely. And now we're picking out the perfect lip shade. She tends to like more of a pop of color and a deeper berry. Julie is wearing our Berry Couture lipstick over a medium nude liner. Obviously, this color could be lighter or darker depending on the liner. We went with a medium nude liner, and probably to brighten that up, we'd probably go more light nude liner before. As we finish up, we're just cleaning up with a little bit of concealer around that lip line. And there you go, her beautiful makeover. All products will be listed in the notes. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.